Morning North Central High School, sophomores and juniors, we're talking to you. So if I've not met you before, good morning. I'm Lindsay Sabo. I'm a counselor here at North Central, and my lovely assistant,
Mrs. Bromley, and we are here to walk you all through the registration process today for the class of 2018 and the class of 2017. Yay!
Yay!
So we're
you
very
will
excited.
Officially these guys will be our upperclassmen next year.
They are.
Awesome.
Yep.
So it's really important that we have a great conversation with you today to ensure that you are signing up for classes that will get you to graduation and will also help to prepare you for your future. When you're an upperclassman, you start to feel the pinch of graduation because the amount of credits that you need and the time left starts to get a little tight. And so it's really important that you go into this registration with lots of good information and a good plan for how you're going to get to graduation.
So we're talking just a little bit more about that. Teachers, why don't you hand out, the first thing that we would like you to hand out is the steps to enrollment. So if you can hand that out to each student. So I want to talk a little bit more about this registration process. So in addition to, we are also going to be working towards, in the next coming weeks, on your high school and beyond plan that you will be presenting. That's another requirement for graduation, is this new high school and beyond plan. You'll keep hearing that over and over because it is a graduation requirement. So this high school and beyond plan is something you're going to be working on in advisory in the next couple weeks. So it's critical that you're there because that is the information that you are going to present at your student-led conference, which is another graduation requirement, that you actually have an adult conversation about that high school and beyond plan. And at that high school and beyond, or at that student-led conference, you will also then be taking your registration form that you fill out today, and you're going to get online just like you did last year, and you are going to make your classes official for next school year. So teachers, hopefully you've handed out the steps to enrollment so we can begin the enrollment process.
So we just want to quickly draw your attention to this poster
Yes.
that's likely hanging in every single classroom in the building, and you're looking at it thinking, what is that and how does it affect me and my ability to graduate? This document really has been prepared for the freshmen and those students that are younger, but it is a tool that can help you to know how many credits you need for graduation. There are just details on it that are really specific to the freshmen and younger.
So hence why our documents are going to be in color, because they correspond to this. So if you'll notice, like for example, what you are required for here in this, for the class of 2016, 17, 18, in purple, it makes it, you can see here, it's in purple. This means you have a college-ready transcript if you take the same classes. So that's why, so your colored documents are going to correspond with this chart, with the exception that they will have 24 graduation requirements. You will have 22 graduation requirements.
Well said. I think it's really simple, you guys. You have to have 22 credits to graduate, and you're going to have opportunity to earn 24 credits because likely you'll take 6 classes for 4 years. 6 times 4 gets you to 24.
All right, so teachers, please hand this sheet out to every student, and when you can pause the video now, and when you have this handed out to every student, turn back the video and we will talk about how to register. Welcome back.
All right. So right now we're talking to you 10th graders and you 11th graders. So you will access these 2 columns on the registration guide that talk about classes for 11th grade and classes for 12th grade. If you are in 11th and 12th grade, you have a really similar set of classes that you're required to take because you have to sign up for an English, a math, a science, and a history. If you're a senior or if you already have 3 credits of science, you don't have to continue in science. You have to have 3 credits in science to graduate. Once you hit that 3 mark, really it's a personal decision about what's your future plan and what do you like taking in high school if you want to continue in science or not. So at this time, students, you're going to go line by line and select those 4 subjects that are basically required based on your grade level. So at this time, with your pen or pencil, circle the English that you'd like to take, whether it's regular English or AP or creative writing, depending on your grade level. The math that you want to take. Remember math, the math sequence goes algebra, geometry, algebra 2, bridge to college, pre-calculus, calculus, statistics. Is the general sequence of math, but in this document it lists top to bottom those that are available to you. Really the best person to advise you on the next math class that is right for you is probably your math teacher or your counselor too. So if you have questions about what is the right class for you in any of these levels, please, 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 please come and visit your counselor. We're out every day at first lunch. You can make appointments with us in our office to talk about these details specifically. But we want you to be able to make really informed decisions and decisions that are accurate and right in the sequence so that you don't get stuck in a weird spot because you've missed a credit or you just haven't been advised well.
So what you're going to do now is if you are going into 11th grade, you're going to circle an English class, then go on and circle a math class, then go on and circle a science class, and then go on and circle a history class. Same with 12th grade is that I would, so not only are you going to fill out for this year, but I also want you to plan on what you would take your senior year. I want you to be thinking forward, and I also want you to also take into consideration where you can stretch yourself. So if you have not yet engaged in an AP class, consider taking an AP class, and really give yourself an opportunity to really stretch yourself and see what you can do. And so we encourage you somewhere in your schedule every year to do that.
I don't think that's the first time you've heard
No.
that notion of stretching, but every year we want to remind you that North Central High School is all about helping you to grow and become your most full and best person. And we think that those kind of academic challenges really help you to grow in your maturity and in your capacity. So see what you can do. And remember that with honors and AP classes come a weighted GPA. So you get an extra 1.0 bump on your grade in an AP class because of the AP distinction and a 0.5 bump on an honors class.
Great.
Something to consider.
Great. So teachers, go ahead and turn this off. Give students 5 minutes to fill this out. And then as they're filling this out, you can hand this sheet out to them, this required electives class. If you can hand that out while they're working on it, and we'll see you back in a second.
And then also put up at the front your 5 piles of your 5 pathways, right? So
Right.
they're just up there and ready to go when we come back and we're ready to select those.
All right.
Bye for now.
Welcome back. It's time to do our required electives classes.
All right.
Time to pick. So we are looking at, again, the 11th and 12th grade classes. And this sheet, you'll notice, corresponds to this in a way because we want you to remember that there are required classes beyond those core classes that you are going to need as a junior and senior. You need to make sure that you have your bases covered. So, for example, if you have not taken PE and health, you are going to need to take PE and health sometime in your junior and senior year.
If you've not taken an art, your 1.0 art credit, your 1.0 CTE credit. If you've not started your world language and you want to get 2 years in, you have to think of starting that junior year.
Right. So that's where you're going to take, and you can even go backwards if you want to and fill in, gosh, this is what I took my freshman year, and this is what I'm taking right now, so this is what I want to plan for my junior year and my senior year. Or if you're, if you're going, planning out your senior year, this is what I took my freshman, sophomore, junior. So we're going to give you about 10 minutes to take the time. This is a 2-page document that you have all of the elective options that are CTE, world language, let's see, CTE, fitness and health, arts, and your world language are all on this sheet. So,
do you want them to grab the green paper at this time at all?
Yes. So, when you have completed this form, go up to the front of the room and you are going to pick one of the pathways that we talked about last week in advisory, that before we did it as you registered by academic concentrations. You chose one.
Yeah, I like that you're mentioning the academic concentrations and the 5 pathways. Historically at North Central, we always use this terminology of academic concentrations, and you picked from maybe 7 or 8 concentrations. Well, the state of Washington liked that so much, that model that we were doing at North Central and in Spokane, and they kind of copied it. And now the state's motto is this pathway notion, and that's where the 5 pathways are coming from. So in the past, when you registered for an academic concentration, you were registering within a pathway and you were thinking about your future and the kind of career that your current electives could eventually lead you to in the future. So we don't want you to get confused or worried about the words that we're
Right.
using. Because
Okay.
it's just words.
Right.
You're-
So
these
was
things are-
concentrations, now it's pathways.
Yep.
Same thing.
Simple.
So we talked about last week about the 5 different, so we've kind of crunched our District 81, Spokane Public Schools has now said we're going to use 5 different pathways, and these are here: the arts and humanities, business and industry, multidisciplinary, public service, and then the STEM. And so up at the front of the room, your teacher should have laid out copies of each of those 5 pathways. And so depending on what your interest is for your future, or what your passion is in right currently in the course sequences you want to take, you would choose one of those pathways. So choose one of those pathways, and we'll be back to explain how to fill out the next step. All right.
All right. So
Welcome
welcome back. Now I think it's time to go on to the white piece of paper.
Yes.
Now that you've done all of your thinking, you've thought through this document in the 2 columns for junior or senior, depending on your grade level, those 4 classes that we consider required based on your grade level. So you've done that pre-thinking and you did your circling there. Now it's time to pull out this piece of paper and actually transport this information to the registration document. So let's go line by line then
Okay,
and
good
talk
idea.
about the details. So you'll notice in the left-hand column, all these details are numbered 1 through 4. In number 1, really we're looking for your name. Please write legibly so
Please.
we can attach this information to the right student. And then we also want to know your grade level next year. We don't care what grade you're in this year. We want to know next year what would this schedule be attached to. We want to know the best number to reach you as a student. Maybe that's your cell phone, maybe that's your grandma's number, maybe that's your cousin's. It depends on really where you're staying and where we could reach you, probably in the summer, to talk through the details of your schedule if we as counselors are looking at your schedule and we have concerns about something. An email is great too, and we want to know your career plans. So maybe in high school, maybe I would have wrote high school counselor, you would have maybe wrote teacher, or we could have wrote truck driver, or
Great.
whatever the career plan is. Now in item number 2, we're looking at your pathway, what used to be your academic concentration, and we want to know if you are arts or business or
So
multidisciplinary
this is the
study.
one you chose. So whatever one of the green sheets that you chose, that's what you're going to check that box. So you'll
Check
notice
box.
at the top it says arts and humanity. I'm going to check arts and humanity.
Yes, we're trying to keep this really simple.
Yes.
Even though it can get complicated, our goal
Right.
is simplicity.
We're trying.
And then your T24 goal is, what does your future look like with the way that you will be trained or educated after high school? So we know that you're just making your best guess right now, so please do that. Please make your best guess about the career or the kind of training you'll have in your future. Okay, so number 4 is where you take the information from this document, from your pathway, and from the required elective worksheet, and you apply it to the 6 classes that you'll take for next school year. Remember, every student at North Central High School, really in Spokane Public Schools, has to take 6 classes. And sometimes people have this question, well, what if I take SVL, and what's this deal about a study hall? Well, I'm here to tell you that everybody has to take 6, and that's a directive that counselors and our administration has to follow. But we can be creative with you about maybe 5 classes at North Central with an SVL class. That requires a conversation with your counselor and your parent and the teacher whose classroom you'll sit in to do the work. So making that decision is complicated, and
Right.
we want you to know that your counselors should be advising you in that process. Generally speaking, everyone signs up for 6 classes. Remember that you have this optional 0-hour credit available to you if you were to take PE weights in the morning. Those classes start at $6.50. Those classes also require you to provide your own transportation. There's not a school bus that drives you to school if that's the class you want to do. Any questions that you can think of?
No, I was just thinking about I guess I would say yes, was the running start,
Oh, okay.
I want to do running start, so
Sure.
do I fill this out?
Good question. Yes.
Okay.
That's the simple answer. If you have a plan to do Running Start, Skills Center, On Track, any specialized program next year that's outside of the walls of North Central, we don't know that you've been accepted to that program or that you'll ever go through the steps to even apply.
Okay.
And so to play it safe, we want to have 6 classes reserved at North Central for you in the event that you do stay with us, because we want you to be able to meet graduation requirements and be really happy here.
Okay.
And if you don't ever select 6, then it could be a rough year.
Okay.
So please select 6.
So the other thing that I would want to make sure that all of you do, if you are planning on a different pathway for, say, you're going to really want to go to the Skills Center, besides filling these classes out, make sure that you write somewhere on the registration form in big letters that you want to do Skills Center.
Yes.
And then make an appointment with your counselor.
Yes.
Okay? Same with Running Start.
So let's talk about those
Yeah.
details of those specialized programs. The Skills Center becomes available to students in 11th and 12th grade who have a minimum of 6 credits, who have good attendance history and really limited or no discipline record.
Okay.
So the Skills Center is awesome. For 3 credits or for 3 periods in the day, you go to the Skills Center. So North Central students go to the Skills Center in the morning. They ride a bus over so back up. If you want to go to the Skills Center, the way the school day looks is you would find a way to get to North Central, whatever your typical means of transportation to getting to school.
Okay.
You get on a school bus that will take you over to the Skills Center daily.
Okay.
You'll be there until about lunchtime. You'll ride a school bus back to North Central, and then you'll take periods 4, 5, and 6 here in our building. Typically for juniors and seniors, those classes would be English, math, history.
Got it.
And then the Skills Center has programs like construction, vet tech, medical careers. Some of those programs actually give you dual credit. So yes, you're earning CTE credit or your career technical ed credit that you have to have for graduation. But you're also earning science, math, a variety of credits in addition to those generic CTE credits.
Great.
This requires an application and you have to be accepted. Okay, so remember that you're kind of earning your way over there. Not everybody gets to go, so be your best self so that when the Skills Center looks at your attendance and your credits, they want you.
Right.
Okay. The other program I think we should discuss is Running Start.
Okay.
Now that you guys are going to be juniors or seniors, the Running Start option is now available to you. Generally speaking, doing Running Start requires 3 things. Really, you want the blessing of your family and of the school. That's where we would say, yeah, you are mature enough to go and independently do school on your own where you don't come to this place every day. You do an application that costs about $25, and then you go and schedule a Compass test that determines if your levels are college level or not.
Okay.
That test is really the clearinghouse that says welcome or no, stay in high school.
Okay.
And then for those students that want to do the On Track Academy, that is also an application basis only. It's an online application that you can fill out with your counselor. And again, On Track only takes the best students. So students that have passed at least 2 of their state tests have limited attendance issues and no behavior issues.
Okay.
So if you're a student that is interested in doing any of those specialized programs, my advice to you is finish strong. Finish the semester strong, be your best self, and specialized programs will look at you as a student with a lot of promise and somebody they'd be excited to work with.
Great. So take the time to fill all of this out, and we will, this is what you'll use to complete the process at your student-led conference. Well, you will go online, and if you have any questions between now and then, make an appointment with your counselor, and we will see you at registration.
Signing off.